Guys, 8 days off and to come back, except for our 2-point percentage, I thought we played a very complete game. I was really proud of everybody and just their approach. We got in some foul trouble. Guys stepped up. The bench stepped up. I thought Marcus Santos Silva had a really great game, and it's not about the numbers. It's just plus and minus, plus 14 as a 5-man as a center. Frustrated their guys in the post. I just thought he led the way. I thought a lot of other guys stepped up, and good complete win for VCU, and a big week ahead of us, and we got to prepare and get ready.
Coach, on that note, you brought up the 2-point percentage. It's been a bit of a struggle this year, and it's the same guys who were top 75 2-point offense last year.
Exactly.
And now you're heading into Wichita, who's top 10 2-point defense.
Yeah.
What's going on with that? I mean, it's.
Well, we practice it all the time. It's you gotta absorb contact, number one, and whatever is going on is we talk about eating the rim, not falling off the cliff, and we gotta be more determined. Number one, we gotta be tougher. Number two, and we gotta continue to work on it, because with 2-point shooting, that could flip quick. We're making it harder on ourselves. We gotta finish our drives. Marcus is scoring his twos around there, but we had a couple of ones where we, maybe a pump fake, get yourself more underneath you, and then go up. But a couple of our drives, we had some good drives, and our skinny guys fell off the cliff, and you lose your angle on the backboard. We got to get better on it, without a doubt.
Do you want to see more, slashing and driving from your guards? Obviously, like I said, Marcus Santos was pretty awesome.
We want to see a lot of paint touches. A paint touch can consist of driving it, throwing it in the post, getting an offensive rebound and spraying it out. We want to play inside out all the time. We want to put pressure on the defense in transition and in half court, and we want to eat the rim and get twos. But if also with great ball movement, sharing the ball, like you saw today, being hot, we're going to make threes as well. We got to finish the rim more.
Speaking of the paint, coach, your team got out rebounded 42-27. What was the preparation for the paint game, especially with the Silva getting 10 rebounds?
Yeah, I thought in the first half we were a little bit better, and then the second half, they shot a lot more threes, a lot of rebounds. A couple times we leaked out. There was 2 or 3 leak outs, and add that. And they got a couple around the rim that we just didn't scrap out. DJ had a big one that led to a transition. IV and Deuce scrapped a couple out. We got to rebound better. Now, sometimes we play small and they're bigger. Still no excuse. So we might not win the rebounding battle every game, but we got to keep it close, and we got to get the ones late in the game to scrap. We got to scrap them out.
Trey Clark came in, hit a big 3, had a nice pass there. What did you see from him?
He's a good player, but he's also a freshman. So, as I like to say, freshman point guards, and I was one. You don't really know what you don't know, and you just got to keep at it. And the one thing that helps him every day, he's got to guard Marcus Evans and Bones, and they're making each other better all the time. And he can really guard the ball, and he gives us a presence, and he's a nose for the ball. But he's also a pretty skilled offensive player, and he's going to get minutes as we go along, and he's going to help us. And as I tell our freshmen all the time, keep maturing and keep being hungry to get better. And then you're going to end up in a game, and that's what happened to him today, and it was positive.
It seemed like you were pretty happy. I think you called a play on that last play of the first half, and Trey got benched the ball and hit the 3. Was that, I guess, sort of right what you?
Yeah, it's just really we practice it all the time. He read the ball screen. He got 2 guys on him. You know what he did? Threw it to the open guy. But when as the game goes on and there's commotion and there's somebody pressuring you or somebody hedging you, maybe even trapping you, sometimes you panic. He's not a panic type of guy, so he saw that I have 2 guys on me. The rollers, someone else is picking up the roller. That guy's open, 3. So he's learning. I'm really proud of him.
Are you able to comment on Link's injury?
Yeah, he broke a bone in his wrist. No surgery required. Going to take a couple weeks. I don't think it's going to be really long, but it's not going to be next week. It's going to take a couple weeks. So he's feeling a lot better. He's been working out and sweating like crazy, and he's going to get back. And he went in for a layup, got bumped in practice, and just awkward, came down on his right hand, and just stinks because number one, he's such an awesome kid, great teammate, and he's been playing well and helps us. But you should have heard what he said to the guys the next day after diagnosis. It was all about the team, it wasn't about him. And his pretty awesome. Great kid.
How long ago was that? Was that
This week.
this past week? Did they have a cast on it, I guess?
No,
Okay.
not even. It's not even casted. One of those.
Like soft raps.
I don't know what do you call it, raps or whatever, something like that.
Coach, I guess it's Missouri State now. They're like 6-6 or something. How much
They're
better?
a pretty good 6-6 team.
Right, that's what I was gonna
They
ask
played
you.
an awesome schedule. Yeah.
Right. I mean, just how much how much better did you know that they are? Obviously, coming into this one and sort of your fear level of like, hey, this is a team that the record just doesn't show. I mean, they pushed Xavier at Xavier.
Yeah.
You
Played
know,
Miami
what was your
really
nerves
well,
like
yeah.
heading into this one?
Well, it wasn't. I don't think we played really well last time out, so I made a huge emphasis. We knew these guys were good, and they're going to be really good in their league. They're picked to win their league. They just played a great schedule like we have, and but they also went on the road and played some people. So, you know, I told you these guys have been around too. A lot of them are transfers that played at the highest level, so they're not going to be intimidated. So. We worked really hard with the scouting report and emphasizing how important of a game this is, because around this time last year, Charleston came in here and it was after UVA game, right? And we just, we weren't ready, and it was a tough game. You know, the cycle of the game, the way the game went, it just was ugly, and we kept emphasizing that for this one. So we scheduled them because people want to play them, and that's a good team for us to play. It's going to make us better, and I think it did. I thought we played pretty close to a complete game, and that's what we needed to do to beat them.
Missouri State's had some issue with turnovers coming into tonight. Was that something you
They
wanted
did today.
to show?
Yeah, well, look, we're going to press everybody, and we're going to try to turn over everybody, and we have this army that, and today it really showed up, and it's just not just because it was 26 turnovers. It was them starting their offense late. It was starting their offense 30 feet away from the basket. Their point guard was dribbling over and over and all around trying to get into stuff. That's that cumulative effect we talk about all the time. It's just what we do. Like you hear me say that all the time. It's just what we do. We do it to ourselves in practice. We press it. We press each other every day in practice for two and a half hours. It's just what we do. And when we don't press, it's because we call it off for a certain reason, and we rarely do that.
Were you? I don't know if it was just me. It seemed like you were calling more plays offensively today. Was that, I guess, just trying to spur the offense, get things going a little bit more?
Yeah, well, a couple of things we want to do. There are certain ball screen situations we wanted to get to, and there's certain things we want to do with our 5-men today, move them around. Their ball screen defense would change all the time, so we wanted to keep attacking their different changes in the ball screen. That was it. Probably a little bit more than other games, but the one thing we want to do is, as the year goes on, we want to be able to execute whatever we do. And the one thing, especially with some young guys, we got to execute when we get to the game. It's one thing about in practice, and today we called more, and I thought we execute pretty well.
Coach, I know you probably don't want to rely on the 3-point shot to kind of bail you out on the night where you're not knocking down 2-point shots, but how?
Come on now, you've watched our teams for the last 2 years. We shoot the 3. We let it fly. I want the right shots, but I want guys shooting 3s. Look at transition 3s. So it's a great question. I'm not mad at you. we shoot. We're going to shoot 3s, and there was 1 3 today I thought DJ rushed one after he missed one. That was a bomb. And I thought at the end of the game when the clock's in our favor, we got this lead. We don't want to shoot a bomb. Cal shot a bomb and airballed it, but we're going to shoot. We're going to shoot, and if we make 9 for 23, well, could have been a little bit better. But some of the guys that do make 3s didn't shoot it as well. Some other guys made some, so we're always going to shoot 3s. You can't catch me in that question.
Coach, you've been coaching for a while, so you got a lot of friends in the industry. Is there anything a coach has told you this year, like any bit of advice that you said, hey, that's a good point, or do you guys, is it something coaches do a bit? Do you watch Texas or you watch a UNC Asheville and say, hey, you guys trade sort of thoughts?
I'm just thinking, when you talk to different coaches, we may be talking about something that just spurs a thought, sparks something, and then you go to your staff and talk about it. I specifically, no, I talked to a high school coach that was at our LSU game, was a good buddy of mine, and he's one thing he said is every time you get downhill and get a paint touch, you guys get good shots. You might not make them all, but you get good shots. He goes, when you just, and we talk about it, we emphasize it, but when someone else is saying it, that's our identity. Seth Greenberg came to watch us practice, and it's a compliment when a coach comes in and says, in the first 15 minutes of your practice, I know what's very important to you guys, and I know the culture of your program. That was, I was honored when he said that, and it was about sharing the basketball, playing really hard, being relentless on the defensive end. And so that, I think sometimes just things that you reiterate it helps you, the coaches reiterate it to you. But the other thing, I talked to Kevin Eason not too long ago, and he said, listen, he said to me, just make sure you still listen. Think about that. We all could do that every day better and better. Listen to your players. And not that you always agree with them or you're going to always do what they say, but they're playing, they're in the middle of the battle too. Sometimes just listen. Shut your mouth and listen to your team and your coaches. And that was a great point. Even after all these years of coaching, I think that was important too.
One of your players, obviously, Marcus Evans, he's kind of having a rougher go than previous years, just statistically, especially on offense. Any sort of diagnosis on why it was kind of
every season doesn't go the way you want as a team, as a coach, as a player, or a stretch. And what I loved about him today was his defense on the ball. That point guard's pretty good. Dixon's a good player. Last time he was here, he had 12 and 5 when he played for Middle Tennessee. I thought he took him out of the game. Completely just shut him down, took him out of the game the whole time. The kid was frustrated. His defense was awesome. He'll get going. The best thing about him, he's such a competitive kid, and that's what we live on. And I think you just don't internalize it. Open your mind and just keep playing. I talk about it all the time. I had a stretch my senior year where I wasn't shooting the ball well. I don't know if you know, but I could shoot. And you know what you do? You live in the gym, you keep doing the right things, and you have an open mind, and then boom, you take off. Because good players make good plays. And it happens to everybody.
One or two more? Coach, we're 10 games in. What is your opinion on the floor burn status?
Oh, we got to get better at it. There was a stretch there, but we didn't get the ball. But I heard the crowd, but we got to get better at it. So we got to get some of these people off their feet. So you can stand up and still drink your beer. You know what I mean? So we got to work on it.
Maybe get in touch with the graphics department. Go minor league baseball style.
Yeah, put it up there. We got to work on it. We'll get there. Things don't happen overnight. It's a journey.
I was asking Isaac about as far as trapping. I guess the freedom that they have to put on the trap. How much freedom do they have? How much is it you directing? How much is it them saying they have opportunity?
When it's like our offense, here's what we do: go make plays, and I want our guys to make plays on defense just like they do on offense. Sometimes it's a play on the ball in the defensive end, step in, but go make a play. Sometimes it's in the press. There's a time to trap. I always say if you're 3 feet away from the ball and he doesn't expect it, it's not a bad idea to do it. Doesn't mean you do it every time. I always say, it's that quarterback. If he's going to throw it do the same thing over and over again, sooner or later you're going to have bad results. I tell our guys, I said, you got to mix it up. Be hard to guard. Be hard to, I don't know what he's going to do. To recognize, and I think that's really important. But when you're on your toes like we were today, and we got deflections, we're in passing lanes, how many times they threw it over out of bounds, that means we were on our game today, and then you have the freedom and you get excited in the press too. So I was really proud of our guys on the defensive end. All right, it's Sunday night, I'm out of here. See you guys.